Hello, my witchy and spiritual magical family. I figured today we would do a video reading for the full moon coming up on October 17th, I believe. It's the Hunter's Moon. It's a full moon in Aries. I have been gone this past month. I got sick and all this other stuff, so I wasn't putting up videos. I apologize, but we'll get back into it. So I thought we would do a pick a card or pick a pile in 3 piles. And I'm going to be using 3 cards or 3 different decks for each pile. So each pile will have 3 cards. The first card that I'll do that's basing the other 2 cards off of will be from the Witches Through History. Let me show you this is what the book that comes with it looks like, and the cards, and just a regular tarot, and the Green Witch's Oracle. All right, so let's shuffle here. The guides, guardians, ancestors, and angels. For messages for whoever sees this for this full moon and upcoming moon cycle. All right, now the tarot cards. And the Green Witch Oracle deck. This one's hard for me to shuffle right now because I cut my thumb, on some broken glass. And these ones are not as easy to shuffle, and they're bigger, so they dig into my thumb. Okay. Focus. Okay. All right, so calm yourself, I suppose, and ask your guides which pile you should choose, 1, 2, or 3. The back of the cards look like these. That's what it'll look like. So for pile 1, if you've chosen pile 1, the first card is the Raven. And it is of the element air, intelligence, deftness, and inner depth. I'm going to show you each card, and then we'll get through it. Ace of Pentacles followed this one. Reconsidering priorities and finding healthier balance between material aspirations and personal values. And Rain. Cleansing, purification, and hydration. So these 3 cards together, to me, starting with the Raven, are talking about finding your own inner guidance, your own inner intelligence. We have a tendency to look around to the influence of others, what's going on social media, or groups that we might be involved in, things like that, in all areas of our life. But the raven brings the message of having an inner intelligence and an inner knowing. That's actually the meeting place of our spirits, right? We can show that outwardly with an altar, with a crossroads, with a bunch of different places that we see that being represented in the outer world. But really the crossroads, the intersection of the material and the physical, has always been the human being. We're always the ones that walk in both worlds. And so knowing that, you can go to the crossroads, you can go to your altar, you can go to these places and spaces, but you have to connect with that inner intelligence inside, the spirits that you work with inside, in order to really tap in to crossroads energy or your altar energy. So it's first here, and then a lot of times we, do things in the outside world to reflect that as above, so below, so that we're taking action, because we have to take action in the physical world for physical things to happen. We're just receiving guidance from the inner world or other world or spirit world. So pay attention to the inner, go inside to the inner depths like that for that kind of intelligence. When I see this often with social media, where somebody will be having certain synchronicities, and they'll ask, what does this mean? Like, I saw, this many crows, or these crows are following me, or these kinds of birds, or feathers, or coins, or numbers, different kinds of synchronicity. What does that mean? And while we can gather intelligence from the outside world like that, ultimately, that has a meaning inside, because it's not the bird itself or the signs itself. It's the point at which you are that you're lining up with these certain things. And so they mean something, even though there might be a general term and you can use that to start the process of investigation, there is an inner meaning for you. There is something specific. It's like taking a tarot card that means something particular, right, on its own as a card, and then how does that actually apply to the question that I'm asking, or to the circumstance that I'm asking? It changes the meaning, but not drastically changes the meaning from the original card, but it has a particular meaning for you and how it applies to your life. But that's only found through this inner work, right? And so this Ace of Pentacles is really talking about that when it comes to the beginning of something and the balancing between the material world and the material things that we have and our own spiritual guidance. It should go spiritual guidance and then action in the material world, not really the material world giving answers to spiritual things, if that makes sense. So while that can happen, don't get stuck in the trap of trying to find that meaning elsewhere, and then even if it doesn't really fit, trying to make it fit to your life. You can find a meaning, but you need to go within. You need to know within and ask. Really, it's a simple process, because it's a process of asking, what does this mean for me? And then being silent and still and connected enough to receive that particular message for you. Also, aces are always new beginnings, and the beginning of something new, a new sort of cycle in your life, a new form of abundance in this case. Things like that. This one also, I might want to add, is in reverse. The pip cards sometimes are hard to see in reverse. Yeah, it's in reverse. So it's the Ace of Pentacles reversed. It's telling you to stop. There's a new beginning happening, because reversals don't really change a whole lot of the Ace cards, but they do tell you there's a delay on this. Before you take action on something, check in, right? The Raven's telling you to check in and make sure that what you're taking action on has come from your spirit's guidance, has come from your inner intelligence, not something that is something everybody else is doing, or is something that somebody has suggested to you would be the best way for you to do it. In order to move forward with this new Ace of Pentacles energy, you really need to move from a place of inner authority. And so that brings us to the third card, which is rain in this case. And rain is that cleansing, purification, hydration. So take time during this full moon to, I would say, take a cleansing bath. That's one of the associations with this. To rid yourself of any influences, spiritual or otherwise, and then take inventory on what you're choosing to take action on and why you're choosing to take action. Did you receive messages in particular that were for you through dreams, through readings, through synchronicities, and make a conscious effort to listen and have sort of faith in those and move forward? Or are you still searching for what it is that you're supposed to? You have like this, sometimes we have, our ego gives us this inner urge that we have to take action now. And in this case, with the ace reversed, wait, don't take action immediately. Do a cleansing process, reevaluate, tap into your spirit animal. It might be the raven, it might not, but tap into your inner spirits, whether they're animals or familiar spirits, however that works for you, deities, things like that, and really get clarity on where it is, where your motivations are coming from with this, because you will hit blocks if your motivations are coming from outside influences. Okay, so that was pile 1. Pile 2 starts with the torch. Enlightenment, hope, and manifestation. The second card, the tarot card for this, is the World upright. Completion of the process, balanced activities and achievements in various areas, contact with distant places, harmony, correspondence between different places. Pregnancy, something new is about to be born, the dance of life. The World card is the very last card of the major arcana in the tarot deck. And so it is a card of completion, but it's also, because it's the World, that sort of reincarnation energy. It's completion, but it's also starting a new cycle over. And then the third card is Rosemary. Remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. So this torch card was also the element of spirit, because each one of these cards have an element they're associated to. So reaching a point of enlightenment or a point of manifestation, there's some kind of achievement, whether this is a spiritual achievement or a physical achievement in your life, the next level of something in particular that has happened, right? So you've reached the end of one cycle and you're beginning the new cycle. It's kind of, the World card is sort of the same as the tens in any of the pip cards, where they're the end of it, but also 1 + 0 is 1. So they're beginning, they're also have the energy of the ace card, right? It's like we have reached the climax of a particular manifestation. Good things are coming to you based off of your previous actions and previous mindset. However, that cycle is going to continue. So you need to maintain that kind of energy, which is why I bring that up for Rosemary, which is talking about faithfulness, loyalty, and remembrance. Right? You can't reach a particular point in your life, a particular realization, because that's really what the torch is about, right? The torch is, Hecate is one of the symbols of Hecate as a liminal deity guiding souls, right, with the torch, guiding Demeter, guiding other spirits with this torch of enlightenment through the darkness, through the shadows, right? So you've reached a point at which you have a realization of some kind or a manifestation of some kind. There's a hope, right? Maybe a period of darkness has ended and you've found sort of inner inspiration again, okay? And that's led this to this point of completion. That part of your life, that part of your journey, of your spiritual journey is over. You've reached some sort of understanding about why things happened or what's to come next. Rosemary is here to guide you in remembering the lessons as you move into the next cycle so that you don't have to repeat anything, right? Sometimes we get really caught up, and this is a particular trick of the ego, that we get really caught up in our new found understanding of something or a new inspiration for something, and the ego can take over, and it's almost like you forget that you were once ignorant of whatever it was too, right? So don't get on your high horse, is kind of the idea. Rosemary is saying stay grounded, stay rooted, right, in the remembrance of the places that you've been in order to hold on to those lessons. It also helps you to stay, even in a point of you knowing something or having an experience with something, and then encountering others that are not maybe having this experience. Like, you can have a point of enlightenment or awareness where a light bulb goes off over this whole positive mindset thing, right? And you can know that certain level of enlightenment or understanding about maybe universal laws or something like that. But if somebody comes before you who is truly suffering about something, and you try to tell them that that's not the way that it is, look, I've realized this particular enlightenment, what it will do is invalidate where that person is. And this, I'm bringing it up because that in particular is a very common trap, mistake, something like that, that happens to a lot of people in the spiritual community and the witchy community, things like that. Letting other people be where they are, and validating their feelings, even if it doesn't sound positive in the moment, is a very healing experience to come into alignment with them, not while losing your own awareness, right? But remembering where that comes from. I remember when I once felt, in fact, if I thought the thoughts and felt the things that you felt, I would react the same way too. Having that humbleness, that letting go of spiritual pride, and remembering that you once didn't know. Now, this could even be in material things. Like, you could have really come into alignment with abundance and prosperity or business success in one way because you jumped those particular hurdles and grew in your spiritual practice and your knowingness, and now you've achieved this thing. And the ego would have us look poorly maybe on those others. And I don't know if poorly is the wrong way, although there is this spiritual pride thing that often happens. Don't trip over the cycle is really the big thing when it comes to the world. Don't think that you've reached some pinnacle that you cannot fall from, okay? In order to maintain the cycle going in your direction, maintain a little bit of humility and holding on to the lessons. You can't learn the lesson or you'll have to, you can't not learn the lesson or you'll have to repeat the cycle. That sort of thing. So be guided through. This is, ultimately, it's a card of good things. You're in a very good place. The remembrance stuff and all that thing is a side note on it. Your spirits are telling you how not to lose the progress you've made, right? That's as simple as it is. But really, you've reached this point of enlightenment or awareness, inspiration, and you've come to the end and the completion of a cycle. So we say that in case there's fear that isn't over. And this is telling you it is over. Take the lessons from it that you need and hold on to those, because there'll be new cycles and new lessons. It's also interesting that this is right after the eclipse, right? So we have these cycles. We're entering a new 6-month cycle for the eclipses that'll happen in the springtime, which will be in Pisces and Virgo, I believe. I think it's shifting. The north node's shifting to the next nodal axis for the eclipse. So it will be a new cycle. It will be a new point in your life of new lessons and new karmic cycles. The old karmic cycles are over. You learned what you had to. Take those lessons and move on, because there's a new set of things coming. Okay. The third pile starts with foxglove. Foxglove is energy, ambition, and productivity. The card is the Page of Wands, upright. A youthful, enthusiastic individual with love for adventure and exploration. The creative potential that still needs work, maintaining safe distance from events and waiting for the right moment. And Roots. I really love this card. This is one of my favorite cards that looks very Halloween and ancestral. Roots, healthy patterns, early growth. right? So we have this foxglove, which really represents the energy and the spirit of ambition and productivity, wanting things to move forward, and it's a fire element, right? So we have a lot of that fire element anyways, which is right with the full moon in Aries, that we get this, those who picked the third pile, get this feeling of the surge of productivity and ambition. Certain divine ideas, you know, things like that, or opportunities might come your way, and really a big hit of inspiration to get things done. And while that is also the energy of the Page of Wands, also being a fire sign, being a fire element, what we're talking about here is it being sort of the message, right? That is that divine inspiration that's coming through and hitting with this full moon in Aries, with that fiery energy of inspiration. The Page of Wands says creative potential that still needs work. So the message really is, don't jump the gun too fast on that. Like, make sure that you write down the ideas that are coming to you, the dreams that you're having, the inspiration as it starts, and maybe start in that direction, right? But don't think that don't get discouraged if stuff doesn't pop off immediately, only because it's still in the works, right? You got the initial seed of this particular inspiration and guidance or guidance in this way, motivation to move forward. But that motivation will continue, and if you jump too fast on it and you think you know what they're telling you to do and exactly how to get it done, sometimes we block further guidance on that situation, and that's what they're warning you about here. You have this surge. Yes, it is divine. It is your spirit's guiding you to move in this particular way. But take caution just to not think that all came at once and you're just ready to run off. Take caution with it. Move slowly. Move in that direction, but stay open to further guidance, because there are things that they can see from sort of a bird's eye view, if you will, ahead of you that you can't see. And if you think you know where that goes and they reroute you somewhere around something that could come in the future, you'll miss their message on that, because you're so certain that I'm just so filled with ambition, right? That kind of thing. And then the third card, healthy patterns and early growth. That's what we're talking about here. Setting the pattern of slow and methodical with a purpose. You have ambition and you have the purpose. You know which direction to go, because this may be coming out of the weeds of something. Maybe you've been searching for which direction do I need to go with something, and that's coming to you. That's being revealed to you, especially at the full moon time. That's being revealed to you. But the pattern for you needs to be staying open and being very methodical with what are the signs? What am I being? I don't need signs of confirmation that this is what I think it is. It is, right? I need the next set of signs and omens and synchronicities for the next step along the path. So you don't have to ask about which direction to take. They've given you that direction. You're aware of it at this point, or will be aware of it shortly. But stay open to the next movement, and you'll get further with the progress, like what you're feeling with your ambition and the progress in whatever project or thing you're working on, right? Whichever direction you take, you'll get further progress on that if you're paying attention to the signs and not second guessing yourself and not second guessing the spirits, but moving forward when they reveal themselves and staying open to it. That's how you get that early growth, is by laying that pattern of staying open. Okay, so that is the message for the 3 piles for the full moon in October, the Hunter's moon, the full moon in Aries. And I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. If you're interested in a private tarot reading or any other services, my website will be linked below, and also my Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. So I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon season, and I will see you again at another date. Bye.